Where you want to start at, man?
I mean, for the most part, I guess sit there and just, like I said, it's just a regular conversation. Turn the earphones off. Just gonna sit there and start off with, yo, welcome to That's 86, where we just say what the fuck we want to, pretty much. We ran out of things to give a fuck about, so we're just gonna voice our opinions. I am Bryant Fennell, pretty much the captain of this whole ship.
And I'm the skipper. Or no, wait, that's the captain too. I'm Gilligan. I'm Gilligan.
It doesn't matter. We're all captains. You know what I'm saying? King, put your head up.
Lift your head up, King.
Oh man, but no. Seriously, it's been a while since the last time you probably heard from us. Definitely together, but that's all resurfacing. As you probably already checked it out.
Like the measles.
Yeah, that was a long time ago too. What was that, like a year ago, 2 years ago? When we were in the same spot. Looked totally different.
Yeah.
Setup was totally different too. It was less comfortable.
Yeah. We were different people.
We
like
were
a stream.
totally different people too.
Like a stream.
We're totally different people. But I mean, hopefully everybody's chilling out, you're enjoying yourselves and just gonna vibe out with us and hear us talk about I guess do it yourself, like being self-made. That's what I want to talk about.
Okay.
Being self-made in a way of like doing it yourself, of whatever it is that you created and the skills that you did have on that, and how did that translate from or to the hospitality industry. But before we get into that, how you been?
Depressed.
Wow, what's going on, man?
Everything. All at once. It's too much. I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what to do. How about you, though? How you been?
I've been fucking great.
That's good. That's good to hear.
I mean,
my God,
look,
I would expect nothing less.
Yo, seriously, honestly, like, because I talk to a lot of my people within, my peers within the industry. They still hit me up and everything. And, like, I never know how it's going to go. Like, it kind of seems like a lot of people are just, like, hesitant to talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because
you're black.
Well, that probably. But,
I mean, based on what's going on in the world today.
But
it's tense.
But it's more so like, well, what they say is more so based around like the positivity that I have. There's like, oh, you're so just positive and everything's great even throughout this hard time. Like everybody that I talk to is negative. And your posts, they're always good, and it's just like, oh my goodness. And I'm just like, well, I can only sit there and talk about what I'm experiencing, and these are things that I've been working toward for a long time. So to finally have all of this happening all at once, it's just like, oh my goodness, throughout all of this time.
You could almost say it's overwhelming, right?
It's great.
Yeah.
It's like, oh snap, So I mean, yeah. So it's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting. But then a couple people do say like they like to see like, because their whole timeline is flooded with negativity.
Right. So
to see someone they know, being so positive about that is kind of refreshing to them.
Right.
So, I'm just like, I don't know, like, I can't, like, I don't know. I grew up being negative, depressed, a pessimist, but now it's just like, I can't even think that way.
Word. Well, I mean, I think it's just like in a time like this, people in general always need different types of voices to speak to them. And when you can be consistent and you can be dependable to be that voice, then you're pretty much synonymous with that voice. Now, if you're just like kind of like every other person, giving them a little bit of this, giving them a little bit of that, giving them a little bit of this, then it's like, you're hit or miss. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you might be good, sometimes you might be bad. But when you're consistently doing the same thing every time, over time, people decide whether they're going to like you or not. And the people that don't like you, you just don't see them anymore. But the people that do like you,
yeah.
they're on.
Mm-hmm.
They're with it. And you just, every post you make and everything you do, it just reinforces what they like about you. So yeah, I can see that. That makes complete sense. There's certain people that I follow for like, it won't necessarily be because they're happy, but it'll be because they always see a certain perspective in things, And it'll be like, damn, this motherfucker still found a good picture to take in this shit. Out of all of this, he still found a good picture.
Gorgeous photo.
Yeah, like he was stuck in the crib dealing with his kids, and like his kids had fucking broke a bunch of toys, and he's like, smash toys. I'm like, wow, this boy is a genius.
It's the caption.
Yeah.
It's the caption. It's just like, oh man, I know what that looks like, and he just made that look
But
beautiful.
yeah, but he didn't even have to like do the caption. Like I could tell what it was. It was like little toy soldiers and shit, just broken to pieces. And I'm like, damn, this nigga at home like me. You know?
I mean, like, you know, everybody's at home.
Yeah.
That curfew and the times.
I mean, we're not. I'm not, at least.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I pay rent here.
So yeah, this is one of your many homes.
Yeah. That's pretty interesting. But yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you specifically though.
Yeah.
So this DIY thing that you brought up, you obviously like seemed like you had something in mind and you wanted to talk about it. So I just wanted to say, like, personally, all the DIY shit that I do, those kind of just carry across different aspects of my life.
Mm-hmm. That's the point.
But for you, I notice a lot of the DIY shit that you do is all really kind of like, it builds off of one another and it all builds into one another.
Yeah.
So I was gonna ask you, what was one of the first things that you noticed after going on to your venture into video production and content creation, and then going back into the industry, taking that knowledge into the industry? What was one of the first things that you noticed that was practical that you could use?
Yo, honestly,
Because
just
you know they
wanted to
say that the bar
highlight-
is a stage.
I wanted to highlight cocktails at first. I wanted to take
Yeah, that's where your journey started.
Yeah, I wanted to take dope cocktail photographs.
Yeah,
So I had to go learn how to operate a
a
camera.
camera. I remember that. O to V
Yeah.
and the others.
Yeah, because they start gaining traction, you know?
Yeah.
But then, like, my video, I mean, my photos were just, like, underexposed.
Trash.
Yeah,
They were down
wasn't
here
good.
too, without lighting.
No, those ones, not even those ones, the ones.
No, actually, you
before.
started down here when you got
Yeah.
things. At least you got a camera by that point.
Yeah, and I didn't know how to use it, so I had to go learn how to use it. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, but honestly, I got a lot of, like, the DIY, I guess, from you. Seeing you sit there and just, like, bring everything together and bring people together, but you still did it yourself, you know? And that I'm just talking about even in music, you know? And it's like, all right, well, you sat there and you took the time to invest in all of that. And I was just like, yeah, man, go ahead, rock on, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't just one aspect of it. You sat there and you rigged. You're still rigging things together, all kinds of technology, you know? So that's why I thought this conversation or this topic would be definitely really dope for both of us to sit there and just, you know?
Yeah.
'Cause I don't know if people know too much about you in that respect, you know?
Word.
And I'm just like, I like to highlight that because I'm like, yo, that's really dope. You know, that's inspirational. It's like, yo, you don't know what.
I remember there was like a summer when me and Woods was like chilling in the crib and we were broke. Well, he was broken and I was, but I was broke too. And
For the record.
yeah, for the record,
Yeah.
for the record, it was my crib too, by the way. Anyways, we was chilling in the crib and we was broke. And one of the things that came up, because he was my engineer at the time, he was doing all of my recording for me. And I kept telling him, like, bro, engineering is just being resourceful. Like, let me show you. Let me give you an example. And like, I saw a bunch of shit and I pulled up a meme of a dude cooking like his bologna and shit with the iron and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Like, was it Red, man?
I don't know who it was.
MTV Cribs.
I don't know who it was. But at the bottom, the caption said, "This is engineering." And I was like, see, this is exactly the sentiment that I want to relate to you. Like, so we just started looking at every just ghetto catastrophe that we made some light out of
Mm-hmm.
as engineering. And we was like, that was a little hashtag that me and him had before hashtags with the shit. But that was something that me and him had, like, just like, that right there, that's engineering, dog. Like, it was just a bunch of stupid shit that we all did that we had to do because we was broke,
Mm-hmm.
and just made it work and was like, yo, that's engineering. Like, that is engineering. And you know what?
That makes sense.
The word engineering is exactly that. It's like you take your resources and you make them fucking fit and do whatever task you need them to fit at the time. So that's engineering, dog.
That's cool, man. That's cool.
Word. I'm glad I could share that with you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, because you sit there like, because a lot of people just overcomplicate things, you know?
Yeah.
And you just sit there and you simplify it. not a lot of people who sit there and think of, like, engineering could be so overwhelming, you know, just because you hear the term and, you know.
Of course, I don't know shit. I
And
didn't go to
everything
school.
that comes around it. So, yeah.
Yeah, of course, I didn't go to school. Like when I would meet people who go to school for engineering, I'm like, this dude's way smarter. I don't know. It's like, I got nothing to say to this guy.
I was like, I just asked him.
Only thing I know is machines.
What made you get into that?
Yeah, that's
like,
all I know is machines. You build machines, you use machines. What do you do?
Yeah, man, I like sit there and think about my little my little cousins. I can see it now. I can see them, like that's their thing, you know? Like they just like to like mess with things and like try to like one of them is really like particular.
You remember that Seth Godin book, Poke the Box?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like I watch the kids and see how they approach things and how they pick things up and how they touch things and what they do with them and how they treat them and you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy how some people are like, they'll jump right into stuff and be like, you know, like,
Yeah.
but then other people just kind of like, you know, so it's real funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, like it's easier to see now because the way like maturity, I guess, you know, experience. It's just like, oh man, no, we should highlight that as a family. We should sit there and nurture that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because
Absolutely.
so everybody's getting together, so it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. Let's see. I don't even know. Like I'm sitting here trying to think, right? Like to bring all this together, like because you understand how bars work. Yeah, I know it's about to go out, about to lose a light, but no. Why you get all like?
I don't know what about to, you know. It's behind me, bro.
You got tight.
Yeah.
You got tight, man.
Go ahead, as you were.
But yeah, like to sit there, like the hospitality industry is not rocket science. In the like when you sit there, you almost have to like reverse engineer. You have to reverse engineer everything in order to understand it. But it's just like people jump in and they don't understand it at all, no matter how long they've been in it, you know? It's just like they just don't try to like get better at it. It's just like they're just there and it's like, what am I supposed to do? It's like you don't know what you're supposed to do. I tell you, I train you, and you still don't know what to do. Is that frustrating to you?
No. Yeah, I mean, it was. Yeah, it is. All right. So when I bartended, I did train a lot of people, and it was frustrating because you can't teach people to care. And it was frustrating because you can teach people the tasks, but you can't teach them why they have to do the tasks. You can tell them,
Yeah.
but you can't make them see and make the connections. Another thing is like the people element of it all, which is there's the fact that like no matter how you express it, you got to know when and how to play it. All the rules that people tell you when it comes to the service industry, when it comes to a customer, when it comes to the people, all that other shit goes out of the window. But that's only in certain circumstances. In certain circumstances, all the other shit goes out of the window. And that's something that you can't really train people to understand. Like I know there's been times where you go out of your way to please somebody because that's what the job is all about. Or you go out of your way to make their experience because that's what the job is all about. But then there's other times where you can't compromise the brand or you can't compromise the establishment or the policies of the establishment. So it's like it's pretty nuanced and everything is not just as simple as it seems at times. So yeah, I feel like I do get frustrated because certain people, like for instance, you go and you do that mundane task and I taught you how to do that mundane task and I taught you to do it well and you're doing it well, but you're doing it and it's not the time to be doing it right now. And you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So now you showed me that you have no idea why you're even doing it. Mm-hmm. So I don't even want you to ever fucking do it again. And yeah, it is frustrating. I get fucking mad. So I don't even do that shit no more. You know what I do now? I try to do everything myself. And then I let all my customers see that I'm doing everything myself. And it takes all of the credit away from the establishment and it gives it all to me. Mm-hmm. And I make it up in tips. And unfortunately, it doesn't make my owners or my boss. Oh, I can't say my owners. I hate that.
Oh, I do too.
I can't say that.
I never say that.
I never. That's the
Never
first time
say
I said
that.
that. I can't. It doesn't make the owners of the restaurant or my bosses look better, and I don't care if it makes them look better because they're not the ones doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
If they want to look better, let them touch tables.
Yeah.
Bitch ass niggas.
Yeah. I mean, and that's kind of why I sat there and really wanted to talk about the DIY, to do it yourself, because it's really a lifestyle.
Uh huh.
It's a bug that just doesn't stop, and it just keeps moving with you wherever you go in life, you know. And even sit there and like, all right, well now, shit, I'm an engineer. Throw that on a resume, baby.
Yeah.
Throw that on a resume. But yeah, no, seriously. For those same reasons, it's like I used to get frustrated, you know?
Mhm.
I definitely did. Until, then I tried to go numb, to sit there and not care at all, but that's not me, you know?
Yeah. Nah.
So it's just, so all the joy out of doing it yourself that I got outside of work, I guess you'd say, just in like my everyday life, it just kind of took the joy away from it, sitting there just creating when I'm home, creating when I'm outside, on my own time. It took away from it just because, like, it's a lifestyle that I don't have to bring to work, but I just want to bring it just because I know it makes my life easier, or it would have made my life easier.
So do you feel like you highlighting DIY right now takes away from teamwork, or just the whole atmosphere that we try to create at work, where we are supposed to be kind of responsible for one another?
I mean, in a sense, I don't think that it's taking away from that at all, because it's a creative environment, so we can create something together. It's when it's do it yourself, it doesn't mean that that's in one individual. It doesn't have to be singular.
Mm-hmm.
It can be plural. It can be multitudes. It can be whatever you want it to be, because do it yourself is, all right, well, we built this. We didn't go get a contractor to sit there and build these racks or build this rail. No, it's like we did it, so that's what I mean when I say DIY, or do it yourself.
Okay. In-house.
In-house.
Gotcha.
Yeah. That's actually cool too. Engineer, in-house. What else do we got, B?
Jewels.
Oh man, just dropping jewels. Jewelry. But no, yeah. So I mean, like I think there's a lot of beauty in it, because I feel like within the hospitality industry, you have to be a self-motivated individual off the top. Before you even get in, when you decide that that's the path that you want to take, that mindset has to come along with it. Because one, yes, you are working for tips, so
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like you got to be crafty within that. So that's performance. They're not they train you on the performance they would like from you.
Yeah.
But we know that performance,
That's not what gets the bills paid.
that's not it.
Yeah.
Because I can't go to a table and read the script that you give me, because that just doesn't come off genuine.
Yeah. I mean, when I talk to people, I try to talk to everybody like they're my friends. And I try to be as familiar as possible, and I feel like that goes a lot further than if I was to just go there and be a fucking robot,
Mm-hmm.
or if I was to go and treat them like I was a servant and they were the master.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get that. I don't get results with that. Not
Yeah.
that that's even my mentality, but even when I'm like checked out completely and I don't want to give them any attention, any personal attention, I still have no choice but to like give them a jokey ass like presentation where I'm not taking it all the way seriously, and they could tell, and they like it, so they loosen up.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, I got mad excuses for days, and they love it. And I don't have excuses for things that I've done wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I have excuses for me being like, I'm just telling you who the fuck I am.
Yeah.
So that's just more opportunity for them to like be like, oh, okay, all right, so this is what we're going to expect. And me being a person who goes out and you know, enjoys these types of things that I'm providing to people, I know for a fact that this is an experience to them. So I'm a part of that experience. This is like a fucking movie, and I'm presenting that shit to them. So yeah, I'm willing to go ahead and do that.
So that's how you think about it. That's pretty interesting because I was talking to my sister yesterday. Right, we have like great conversations whenever we do talk, and
Actually, when I said that though, I was more so talking about when I'm at tables and I'm serving. I wasn't talking about bartending at that time.
and that's crazy because that
Because there's a
itself,
difference.
It's yeah.
There's a difference.
You get treated differently. It's totally different.
But no,
But
that's the
it's
thing. I
still-
try to go out of my way to make it the same, which is I'm still the guy, and I'm still the person who you need to give your attention to.
Yeah.
I'm still the authority on everything that's about to happen to you right now.
But the mindset, and that's where DIY is pretty interesting to me because you can sit there, it's you building a culture or you building a standard within wherever you're at. You're creating something, you know? And that's why
Intentionally.
yeah, I think you have to have that mindset when you decide to get into something like this because this is something that's not taught, you know? Like because people go out if they're sitting at the bar and you're the bartender, everybody wants to be your friend, right?
Right.
This is like general.
Yeah.
You know? And
But if you go into
a
a fucking 8-top or a 12-top, everybody wants you to leave them the fuck alone.
yeah.
If you go into a 4-top, everybody's pretty much entertained by you and they're happy to have you because they don't like each other. If you go to a 2-top, it could be either way.
It's only when they call you over. So either way, you're like.
No, with a 4-top.
Yeah.
With a 4-top, I get all love.
See, but you've created a whole. I'm talking.
I have a dynamic.
In general.
Yeah.
In general, it's more so like no, don't come over here unless we call for you to come over here or you see something's empty or whatever.
Nah, I got a lifestyle that I live, and that's not it.
But that's that's a different mindset.
I'm looking at I'm looking at glasses. I'm checking body language, and on top of that, I'm making rounds either way. So you can tap me if you need me. So
most servers. They are attentive. Well, they can be attentive. They cannot be attentive.
No, I mean people. I wouldn't even say most because I've had individuals train me to steps of service where it's like actual steps, and it's not just all right. We coming by every 5 minutes. No, nigga, you just drop that food. All right, now give them 2 bites or give them 2 minutes, and then once you've done that, leave them the fuck alone until you start to see plates getting cleared. Then once you go by, once you bust a little table. Honestly, once you bust a table, you'll probably see a drink getting cleared before you bust a table. So you'll probably be refilling drinks. At that point, you have an opportunity to bust a table. At that point, you have an opportunity to drop a dessert menu. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like all of that shit.
Script.
But to me, I've had people teach me that way, and that's amazing, and I fucking appreciate it. But then I had other people just willy-nilly, like, oh, they didn't ask for it. Like, fuck that, nigga. They don't know what to ask for. That's what I'm here for, right?
But I guess it's kind of hard to sit there, like, as a guest coming in, someone coming in. I think the mindset is a lot different when you're coming to sit at the bar or when you're coming to sit at a table.
At times. Depending on where you work. Because certain places you just have to settle for one or the other. Certain places you're cool with either one. You know? Like I've been in places where the people who are at the table are 100% different than the people who are at the bar. But I've also been in places where the people who are at the table or the people who are at the bar are literally about to go to a table. So.
Yeah. Like I understand all that and I do see that. I still just think that like people want more privacy and to be left alone when they go to a table. I mean, not when they go to a table, when they're sitting at a table, as opposed to when they're coming to sit at a bar.
I feel that way with twos more so than with fours. But even in that, and even with that, they want to be left alone when they want to be left alone.
Yeah.
They don't want to be neglected. So it's times that you definitely need to be paying attention, and that's pretty much all the time. But you just don't need to be having them pay attention to you all the time.
Yeah. So that's pretty much the difference between when you're behind the bar and then when you're on the floor. Because nobody
you when you're behind the bar, you can be behind the bar, but you ain't gotta be in somebody's face.
Yeah.
Like you can have that conversation, and then you say that cool thing, and then you go, "Ha," but I wouldn't know. And then you pick up a glass and start polishing and walk the other way, even though you don't have other shit to do.
Yeah, but that interruption isn't so it's not so negative, I guess you would say.
No.
As opposed
because
to
you know how to play it.
Yeah, people are more friendly, I guess you would say, or when they're at the bar, it's just like, as opposed to just going to a table, it's like, can't you see I'm reading right now, or like I didn't sit at the bar because I didn't want people to talk to me, that means it's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that, but like I said, but you can build that, you can change the culture of the environment just by having a mindset. It's like, no, I'm not going to allow it to be like that. When I'm here, they know, this is how it's going to go. I'm going to come and bust it up at your table just like I would if I was behind the bar. This is what you're going to get. And if they're regulars, they're going to appreciate that.
Yeah.
But then you have to have that mindset. But I think that takes a strong mentality in order to sit there and do that.
Definitely. Plus, you and I have the unique experience to be able to have worked in a place or in places that have been like strategically understaffed to the point where you've had the pleasure of greeting a table, seating a table, taking an order, making the drink, putting it in the kitchen, not cooking it, but busting your table, flipping your table, even washing your dishes. Doing it all, except cooking the steak.
Yeah.
But yeah, so in that's DIY right there.
Yeah.
So it's not about being able to it's like, oh, I did everything. No. It's more so being able to say like, I can do everything. So that's a role that I can fill if necessary.
Yeah.
If we are
so many different skill sets that goes within each of those positions.
Yeah,
itself.
and still be able to come out of the kitchen fucking smiling and not sweating.
Yeah.
And in 2-minute intervals.
Like, you not tired? No, I work out
Smiling, B? Yeah.
Saying like, what? I got my steps in.
I came here to do this.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, so the way that I do, like, because I keep on saying that it is a lifestyle, because I keep seeing these things just like the DIY or do-it-yourself mentality or engineering, being resourceful, just translate into so many different spokes of life. Like, now, like I was just running. I was just doing a 2-mile. I did a 2-mile run with Seth. Gosh, yo, I'm usually good. I can usually,
2 miles broke you down, B?
I can usually go for 4.
Okay.
Without breaking a sweat, but it was 90 degrees.
Okay. Y'all was just running in the sun?
And we were just running in the sun. I just woke up and he hit me up and...
You just weren't prepared mentally for it?
Wasn't prepared. Mentally didn't have anything in my stomach, and it just like...
Yeah.
So I felt the weight of my sneakers holding me down. My stomach is just growling, you know what I'm saying? And
yeah, plus you didn't have the luxury of being able to go at your own pace. You probably had to keep up.
Well, my pace is really fast for me because I'm light,
Yeah.
So I'm really good at keeping up. But I tell you, that broke me down, and then I just was realizing,
Do you guys do a warm-up?
We did a warm-up.
How long was your warm-up?
10 minutes.
How, distance-wise?
How long was that? The 10-minute mark? I don't know. Was that... Where was that? Was that...
10 minutes could be about a mile, depending on how fast y'all going.
I don't know. I can pull it up.
Yeah, don't worry about it right now. I just was curious.
I'm like, I could.
Cause no, you know what happened?
We did 2 miles.
My boy E came at me. My boy E came at me. 2 miles in 18 minutes.
Yeah.
All right, so 9-minute miles. Cool. That's cool. I'm not mad at that. I do 13-minute miles because I'm a slow motherfucker. So, my boy E, He tells me, yo, I'm gonna run 3 miles. You wanna run with me? I don't know, man. You gonna be all right? I'm like, cuz. I started going in on this ball. I'm like, bro, my fucking warm-ups is 2 miles, B. What the fuck is you talking about? Like, nigga, when I run, I'm a treadmill runner. I've been a treadmill runner since back at 14. Like, I used to be down there by myself doing that shit. Just by myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I hate running. That's the funny thing. I hate running so much that I make sure that I do that every workout.
Why do you hate
That's
running?
the first thing that I do every workout. Because it's just monotonous. It's just
Well,
my body's fucking up and down and all of that shit. I mean, even in the city, because you get distracted, you start looking at things and you fuck up your running. You got to get your rhythm. So it really, for your rhythm to work, for you to be a real good distance runner, it needs to be monotonous to that point. Like, you need to be moving economically and you need to not be shifting your head all types of places and shit. So yeah, on some real shit.
Interesting to know.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I look at it. But yeah, so on some real shit, like, I'm looking at E like, man, you fucking counting me out. I can't believe you, dog. I'm fucking my dad Jamaican, man. This shit in my blood, B. Like, I'm just so angry and
Like,
shit.
you don't know what we can do.
Yeah, like,
we go hard.
I'm like, every time I step on the treadmill, it's 6 to 8 miles, B. My cool down's a mile, bro. My cool down is a mile, bro. You talking about 3 miles. So this boy was like, yeah, I did 4 miles today. I'm like, nigga, I rode 7 miles to get to your house and I'm about to go back home. I know a bike is not the same, but come on, man. It's a lifestyle, B.
It is a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
It is. And now I'm looking at it like, I'm looking at it as investments. Like I just copped up on some running shoes.
Yeah.
Like, cause I was just like, oh, it's no way. I will not do this like this again. You know? Like,
Yeah.
Cause now it's just like,
No, nigga. I put these Vans on today. I worked in Vans for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I bought real good shoes, like real good running shoes and real good walking shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, bro, I put these on today because I'm on a bike. But I put these back on today, I'm like, damn, this shit hurt already. Like, this just changes the way I walk and it fucks me all up.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, shout out to Vans. Yeah, you gotta invest in that shit. You gotta invest in the tools. Same thing with DIY. You gotta invest in the tools of the trade because you be going around in circles, you be fucking hurting yourself the whole time and don't even know it.
Yeah,
It's like one of my greatest,
totally different now.
one of the greatest things that I'm really, really grateful about, and I still to this day, like, I praise God for this. When I bought my first guitar, it was perfect. It was in perfect condition. Like, the action, it was already ready to go. Like, plug it in, go. If I had bought my first guitar and it would have been a little fucked up, then that would have hindered my learning.
Yeah, it's true.
And I would have not wanted to do it as much. And I probably would have been less motivated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I probably would have thought every guitar was that way. But
For real.
I was fortunate to have a great guitar when I fucking started. Even for cheap, though. I paid $150 for that joint.
Mm-hmm.
Pawn shop, baby.
For real.
I got an amp with it.
I mean, but that's a whole nother layer too. Sitting there just having understanding the importance of quality and things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like now I try not to cut corners with quality
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just like, yeah, all right. Yeah, it costs a lot, but it's well worth it. I understand why it's worth it because, like, with anything I'm doing, you can easily get discouraged. Just like, all right, this is not for me. And then years later, you find out, oh, it's not. This was for me. And then it's like I missed out on so much that I could have been developing that.
Yeah, yeah. And I start to weigh out my time with like
Yes.
actual money and figures, and I'm thinking to myself, all right, I can pay $1,000 and get this shit and be fumbling around with it for 2 weeks to figure out how to even work it, or I could pay $2,000 and get the one that works itself and get straight to it.
Yeah.
Is that 2 weeks worth of $1,000 to me? Hell yeah. I don't know how much you get paid a week, but that 2 weeks is absolutely worth $1,000 to me.
For real.
So I will pay that $1,000 to save myself 2 weeks of fumbling around and probably losing all of my patience and motivation.
And that's like, so that's exactly what I'm going through with building this winery out, you know, because I'm sitting there just doing the research, and it's like, of course everything costs a lot, you know, but it's just okay.
Yeah, but the thing is, with this engineering shit, it all be in your hands. You could pick this one, or you could pick that one.
Yeah. And you just know. Like,
yeah, you know if you pick this one, it's going to be some shit with it. It's going to be some shit.
So I just rather not, and I'd rather sit there and just like, I'm okay with now taking my time. That's something before, like when I didn't understand anything, it was like, oh man, it was like I was walking around with a chip on my shoulder, like I was behind, like it's like, oh man, I'm behind everybody, you know. So I would work super hard.
Try to catch up.
Yeah, just trying to catch up, just feeling like I'm okay with, like, oh man, I caught up. You never catch up,
Yeah.
but then you don't realize you're never behind.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it takes a long time in order to understand that, like all the odd jobs, not even odd jobs, like all of the jobs that I did take, within this industry, well, within the hospitality industry, sitting there, one, not understanding my value, my worth, like just, oh man, it's just nasty, It's just, it's just like, no, like if you can't value me, and I'm just that expendable to you, after I created a great culture here, then what are we doing? I'm not doing anything else for you. Matter of fact, I'm going to go try something else somewhere else. If I can sit there and cultivate another following in another establishment, and they can identify me from another place, and they're like, oh, you served me here, and yet your service was phenomenal. I'm glad I got you, Then
Well, this is a good moment to empower the viewer. You know how like motherfuckers tell you expendable, you can be replaced.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, there's always somebody waiting in line to take your job. Well, guess what? There's another motherfucking job waiting in line to take your employee.
Yep.
So don't you worry.
Yep. Yeah. So my sister, she instilled that in me because she's just like, she's a pioneer to me of that kind of lifestyle where it's just like, oh, Bryant. She always says, Bryant, there's tons of jobs available. You do not have to stay there. You do not have to put up with any of this. Look, it's like, okay, you don't like it, I'm out.
Yeah, I was wondering why you worked at 30 places.
Well, oh man, because man, a lot of those places closed, but a lot of those places weren't.
Because of you?
No, a lot of those places weren't paying check. I mean, they weren't paying their employees. It's the same. How the story goes.
Yeah.
And then a lot of them just weren't good fits for me. It's just like, oh no, this isn't gonna work.
Yeah, that's crazy. After I dealt with Johnny intimately and watched him go through maybe 2 or 3 places, especially even Maison, like, he was like, man, these motherfuckers ain't paying me, bro. I'm like, what? How the fuck? That's the fundamental thing.
Yeah.
Like, that's the one thing that we all agreed on. I'm here for money.
Yeah.
That's the one thing.
Like,
so
yeah.
when he brought that to my attention in that one space, I was like, damn, that's fucked. I didn't know it was like that out here.
You were with me when I bounced that day.
No, I know. I was with you when you bounced that day. I know. I ain't fucking know. And then I went and hung out there after that. I went and continued to hang out there after that.
What?
Yeah. Met Jeffrey and that bitch a million times.
Oh, man. That's where I met him.
Yeah. So, anyways, I definitely felt for my guy, but I was like, yeah, man, you can't just be taking that type of shit, man. Like, that's some bullshit.
Yeah.
And then he left. And then he went to another place. And they did the same shit. Like, after about 2 months, he's just like, yo, my paycheck's not fucking coming. They talking about waiting until Monday. Mm-hmm. And then Monday come, and then they talking about, yeah, we only got this much for you. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Cuz. And it's like, wait, you got to call somebody. And he's like, I'm rushing. I'm like, fuck. Fuck.
Yeah, man, there's a lot of people. It's a lot of people that's nasty, And me, I'm professional with mine, and I believe in myself, and I have integrity. So it's just like, nah, I don't have to take this, like, I don't care, I'll walk out of here because I know the amount that I invested in myself, So I know that like, I just positioned myself in a position where I can go anywhere. That's it,
Mm-hmm.
Just because of the knowledge that I do know. Whether you want to use that within your facility, up to you, It's not up to me because the job is this. I can go above and beyond, but you're not going to pay me for above and beyond So then if someone asks for a raise, you're just like, wait, I didn't ask you to do any of that stuff. I'm glad you did it, but no. You know? It's just like, well, no, we're not talking the same. We're not, no, not, I'm not having those conversations anymore. I'm not doing that, you know?
That reminds me of my first bar backing position when I was like 15, 16. And I was like, I was supposed to come in at 10:30. Eventually, it was like, man, it was all the way down Manioc, so there was no buses that really ran out there frequently. So I was showing up at 10:30 for a little bit. Then eventually, I started just coming in at 10. Like, it's easier.
Mm-hmm.
Then eventually, I was like, yeah, I like being here a little early. I'll start showing up at 9:30. I start showing up at 9. Eventually, I'm coming in at 8. There's nobody there. This is just the one boy that does all the maintenance and shit letting me in. It's like, what's up, Tank? It's just me and him. It was beautiful. Like, and then I saw the manager come in one day, and I let him in. And he's like, what the fuck are you doing here? I was like,
It's just easier. Yeah.
I didn't even have words. I was just like, he's like, are you trying to take my fucking job? I was like 15, 16.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know why I brought that up, but it reminded me of that.
Cause, man, it's like going above and beyond.
Yeah, they didn't ask me to come in early.
They
didn't want me to come in early either.
I mean, as long as you ain't clocked in, I'm pretty sure they didn't.
No, I was clocked in.
Oh, see,
It's crazy. I was definitely clocked in, boy.
You to come. They're like, no, we didn't have.
I was clocked all the way in. They never.
They adjusted your hours to like, no, we told you to come in here.
Nah, see, I was a child, so I could only work the weekends. So my whole goal was to make $100 in 2 days. That was my goal. This is what, 18 years ago. Mm-hmm. So yeah. My goal was to make $100 in those 2 days, so I knew that with my tips, I was only gonna make about a good, clean, $38, $40.
I know.
And then my check was only gonna be like $50, $55. Mm-hmm. So I needed to maximize my check to make sure it was about good $80, $90. Then I'm in the money. Now I'm about $150 a week. You know, that's all.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. No, like even with talking to my sister yesterday, we were sitting there. You want some?
I'm good, thank you.
We were sitting there we were just talking about everything in general, but then we started talking about, of course, hospitality. And, oh man, like, things that, like, a lot of things bother her. Of course, it's going to turn into a whole nother topic at some point, but, like, she was just, we were talking pretty much about the history of America. And that this is pretty much, they're like, this is slavery. Like, what you do is considered slavery.
Yeah, but somebody got to do it.
Somebody had, no, you don't have to do it.
Somebody's got to do it.
Slavery was not a choice.
No. But we're not talking about slavery. I'm not saying somebody's got to be a slave. But when you're saying what you do is slavery, I'm assuming that you're referring to this industry that we're talking about, right? When you say what you do. Okay. Yeah. Now, all I'm saying is that when it comes to fine dining and getting really good service outside of your own home and enjoying a meal, hands-free, end to end, from beginning to end, bam, pick me up at the door, and then take me to where I got to get fed, put it in my mouth, wipe my mouth off, and put me in a cab, end to end. That's a service.
Yeah.
That's a service that we all enjoy. So somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, but now that doesn't mean, all right. See, and this is where the tricky part comes, because they paid for said product.
Not necessarily. No.
They did.
No,
they didn't. No, your service is a different product.
No, that's where the tips come in. Of course, if you want to say it that way.
Yeah.
But
those are two different businesses.
Okay, I understand that. All right, so now you want to go ahead and go into that. Because I know where you're going now.
I mean, but...
Yeah. Because I will say, see, I've been happily compensated with tips, and I've never had a complaint about how many tips that I made. But go ahead. If you want to mention the fact that we should all be entitled to our pay for our services.
Well, no. Well, but then that opens up the door for a conversation for a negotiation.
See, I take that opportunity myself when I deal with these people. Now, don't get me wrong. In some instances, that might look like a certain employee telling somebody it costs $16 when it costs $15 or $14 or $12, right? Or possibly even giving somebody something that costs $12 when they ask for something that costs $16 and then keeping the difference yourself. beyond that bullshit,
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking, you have a product in your hands.
Mm-hmm.
You have a customer in front of you who wants that product.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have the opportunity to use your savvy to get some extra money on top of that. Now this person's already prepared to give you whatever they're prepared to give you.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can go ahead and use that opportunity to get whatever you want on top of that.
Yeah, but see, there's just all right. So
That's your work.
salesman. So
Your work ain't just being there. Your work ain't just being on the clock. Your work is not just being a presence and standing in the way. Your work is actually hustling and getting this to that person.
So
And
that's
that's how you.
a salesman, a representative. There's so many different levels and layers that you should not a fair wage. A fair wage.
Well, when you say a salesman,
because you are a salesman and you're not getting any commission off of.
that's if you
anything.
go out of your way to be a salesman. That's you and me. That's me and you being assholes trying to be good at what we do. You can stand there all day and the nigga can ask for something and you can pour it for him and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't got to say nothing. Nobody requires you to actually do any of that
Yeah,
stuff.
but then they don't. But that's the whole thing. Like because all right, so essentially, then you're working to make $21 an hour if no one leaves
21 to 35.
extra. $21 to $35 for the entire shift.
Mhm.
If you don't get tipped or anything like that.
You stand to make. I'm sorry, I didn't compute that.
Based off of the base hourly wage.
Right. Oh, okay. 275 or whatever.
Yeah, without if you don't make any commission.
Okay.
I'll say it that way. If you don't make any commission off of your services, we'll bump
See,
you
but
up
that's the
to
thing.
minimum
That's why I look at it completely different because you call it commission.
Because you're a sales because you are a salesman.
No, I understand. But commission is commission.
You're selling their
Commission is what's
product.
missing. All right, so that's good. That's how you communicate it. Commission is what's missing. But tips is a different thing than that.
Yeah, tips is
Because on like
totally different.
for me, the way that I look at it is the opportunity to earn tips.
Mm-hmm.
And me, I'm good at earning tips.
Yeah.
And the opportunity is all that I need.
Mm-hmm.
Like you give me the opportunity to earn tips, I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna maximize that shit. And that comes through obviously a lot of different means, but one of those being just being a good motherfucker and having people keep coming back and loving to see you smile. Like,
See, I view tips and commission.
no, of course, completely separate, right?
Well, in this instance, I'm looking at it the same. Then forget that.
No, they separate.
They are. They're completely separate.
No, you just-
are providing us. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
So they are definitely separate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if they are separate, you're saying what's missing is the commission aspect of it, right?
Yeah.
You're saying you don't get paid commission.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you should get paid commission if you're selling their product. You're representing their brand.
Okay.
I can even go in even further and just be like, shit, for all this, I'm selling their product too. So let me hit up these brands and say, hey, so I've been selling this much of your product. You know, like give me the analytics on that. You
No,
know?
I mean every person, every beverage managers are supposed to be doing that.
Like give me the analytics. No, fuck them.
Well,
'Cause that's
may I get some of that?
that's something totally.
Well, the thing is, you are approaching this from
a DIY.
a DIY perspective, and that is, first off, it shouldn't be allowed because you're assuming that these people deserve to have these rights, right? You're saying that these are rights that these people deserve, and I don't think they are. I think that they're privileges.
They
Now,
are privileges.
If I was to go and approach this, like I said, if I'm just looking at it like, okay, give me the opportunity to earn tips and I'll earn tips, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I was to front my commission for that opportunity, I'd front my fucking commission for that opportunity because I'm so confident in myself to use the hell out of that opportunity, right? Now, on the other hand of that, imagine if you're a business owner, right?
Mm-hmm.
As a business owner, you do want to have to take care of people and you do want to take care of people. But at the end of the day,
In theory.
if you, well, I do. Do you?
I do.
All right, well, everyone in this room wants to take care of people
Alright.
as business owners, right?
All right. Yeah.
Everyone in this room wants to take care of people as
That's
business
why
owners.
we're here.
So, with that assumption, you see numbers, you watch $5,000 to $10,000 of merchandise come and go. But you also see $20,000 to $30,000 in just palm greasing all night.
Mm-hmm.
So, on the one hand, I would think that any business owner would look at it and say, okay, I am a whale. These people are the whatever the fuck feeds on a whale, the little fish and shit that's eating the little, they're parasites. They are friendly parasites because they help me. They definitely bring more things to me so that I can eat off of those things. But at the end of the day, they're eating off of me. And there's nothing that I'm necessarily providing to them for them to be able to get all of this shit. Only thing I'm doing is letting them stand in this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Anybody could do it
Yeah.
if you really think about it.
Yeah.
There's no difference between them and the people at Modell's or fucking Foot Locker. So, yeah, I would think that any owner of any business would look at it the same way I look at it, which is, shit, they get more, they're, as collective, they're making more money than I'm making. And they're not putting anything on the table. Just like a record label would look at it and,
You're putting time.
just like
on
a
the
record,
table.
just like a record label,
And energy.
you're getting paid $2.75 for your time. You get, just like a record label gets an artist and they front every dollar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got your thing that you do, but my shit is on paper.
Mm-hmm.
My shit is proven. You can walk away and you can take your thing, but my thing is going to continue to thrive with or without you. It's a system going on.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you're saying that as an individual, I believe in myself, I can go and take my shit somewhere else. All right, that's cool. But it's like, yo, I built this whole motherfucking system and this shit works so well that I don't need you. And I don't need him and I don't need her. I can fire all y'all motherfuckers because look, it's more motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I like to see it all different ways.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to say, like, I don't disagree with you at all. But on the other hand, you know, you don't necessarily have to be great at any of this shit.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a definite good opportunity. But listen, though, I'm speaking to somebody who only worked in good places, though, right?
Hmm?
I ain't never got no money stole from me. I've only worked in good places. I've
That's
only ever
fortunate.
made. I've
I
only
mean-
ever made a lot of money.
No,
doing
I
what I
haven't.
do.
No, I haven't gotten any money or anything. I've always gotten paid. So I'm not.
I should have rinsed this, John.
No, you should just drink it.
No, it's definitely strawberry as fuck.
Oh, you can still smell it.
I can taste it too.
Yeah, I do smell it. Yeah.
Hey, it is what it is.
Then you already have some. Oh, you just got finished the. All right, cool. I got you.
So,
But yeah, no, like fortunately, I haven't had any money stolen from me or not paid or anything like that. Yeah, that wasn't my issue. My issue, a lot of the things came from what I think is like using the likeness, I guess you would say, of people. To get people, they have the staff pretty much market, brand, promote the establishment to get people to keep coming back. Because without that staff, there's a good chance that people probably won't come. Unless if you're like solidified within the neighborhood, then people will come. But if you're not, then you're banking on all of those people. So you should, yeah. Because how many places?
okay, so
closed
listen,
down?
cuz no, I don't fucking know. I don't know the numbers on that. You want to run them? All right, you got staff. That's a draw.
Draw.
You have product. That's a draw.
But you can get that product from anywhere.
No shit. No,
They can-
not necessarily. When I say product, I'm talking about the shit that you actually cooking and serving to these
Okay.
people and the drinks that you're making to these people. So no, you can't get that from
Yeah,
anywhere.
yeah.
But that's a draw. Like a good drink program,
A
that's
great
a
drink
fucking,
program,
that's
yeah.
a draw. A
Yeah.
great menu is a draw. A great
Yeah.
chef is a draw, right?
Yeah.
Quality of service, that's a draw.
Mm-hmm.
Location, that's a draw.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can get into the other amenities of where you got like rooftop deck and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like the atmosphere. And it's like whether you got live music.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like whether you got big TVs that show games. Then it's like whether you got big circular tables that could sit 12 to 14 people
Which is the thing to
easy.
get people to come in. Yeah.
All of these things are just draws, right?
Yeah.
Those are draws.
Mm-hmm.
If you have about 3 or 4 of those things, you don't need good fucking staff, bro.
I guess that's true too.
That's all.
I guess that's true too. I just automatically, I just side with what I believe. Is
I know,
the
nigga. I know.
creators,
But I'm here to
creators.
I'm here to challenge it.
I know, and I appreciate that because, like, looking at it from that angle, it doesn't change how I feel.
No, of course.
But it does give me a different perspective on it, where it's just like, you know what? All right, because I go to not so great places because I'm just like, oh man, such and such is bartender or such and such is serving. Let's go show some love, you know?
Absolutely.
I don't go there because of a fucking TV. I don't go there because they have a rooftop. You know, I don't go there because any other. Because I was like, well, I could just sit there and just. But I mean, I do know how to make drinks and all that myself, so I guess that would be different too.
Then there's that comp tab, baby. Can't forget that good old comp tab.
I mean, but that's
something.
If that's a thing within the place, because a lot of places don't allow that.
Even if they don't, there's people who give shit away.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I do, but there's a lot of people who do.
Yeah, but that's not something.
Gotta acknowledge it.
But that's not that could be a draw, but that's not a draw.
It shouldn't be a draw, but it is definitely a draw. Let's say it that way. No, because honestly, like I've had wise bartenders tell me like, yo, you never want to start that by giving drinks away, because then it'll always have to be that, or it'll never grow to be anything other than that. And it's like, yeah, I appreciate that, I respect that, definitely. But if you come to my bar, you ain't paying for shit, and everybody knows it, right? There's certain people who, if I go to their bar, they will look everybody around in their bar in the face and say, he ain't paying for shit, and everybody knows that. All right, I just wanted to be established, okay? That man ain't paying for shit, right? Yeah. And then at the end of the night, I'll leave him $100 and he'll explain to him, see, that's why I said he ain't paying for shit, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So.
But that's still a culture that you created.
Right.
Outside.
Precisely. But at the same time, that's something that you have to like, you have to go out of your way. You have to go out of your way.
Yeah, I mean, but for anything that you're sitting there, I guess, creating, you know, or doing it yourself, because I guess in a sense, whatever employer you're with is fronting the money for that. But it's like, no, because you worked for that.
No,
so
but that's what I'm talking about.
like,
Yeah, you just saw it, and you didn't want to, and you don't want to, but you saw it, so you can't unsee it. Once you saw it, you can't unsee it. So here's what it is.
I see where you're coming from.
The employer is absolutely fronting you all of the product and the space for you to work, for you to do your thing. And then everything that you get doing your thing, they don't even want none of it. It's all yours. Assuming that, you know, they got the system that I've been working under and the system that I refuse to not work under. I will not go to a restaurant that is like trying to cut into my tips, trying to tax my tips, trying to make me claim my tips, or, sorry, I know all this is illegal, but I don't give a fuck. Or even like, what was the other thing? What's the other thing that they do? Oh yeah, tax my tips.
You already said that.
I don't care, I gotta say it twice, because that shit is ridiculous, bro. I don't believe in that at all.
That's a gift. That's gifted to me. You can't tax that.
Yeah, that's deliberately a gift. So anyways, so as I said, they've given me the establishment, they've given me the platform to earn all this money, and they don't want any of it.
But then you can look at that as any place.
What you mean?
You can, like, that's retail. Well, I guess no,
no,
you
it's
can't
not,
make your
nigga.
own money.
You are not allowed to get you're not allowed to get tipped in all of these other places that you're talking about.
But then
that shit is illegal in most of these places that you're talking about.
But you're also making a higher wage.
Okay. But in our industry, one could argue that you're making more money.
Yeah, you can.
Than a lot of other industries. I can't say every industry, but then a lot of other industries, especially on some entry-level shit, especially on some work around your own clock shit, especially on some halfway part-time shit. You can go in 3 days and make what another nigga making in 5 days sitting at a desk.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
You just gotta work for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. I see it.
Yeah. You just want to...
They just kill
So, like, yeah, you want to kill... You worried about creators. What about owners? What about owners? We're owners. Look at it from a different perspective. What about us? What if we get somebody to come in here and they set this camera up and then they be sitting there talking about, oh, they deserve royalties and all of that shit? What kind of shit you gonna be talking then? You gonna be all about his rights then? You gonna be all about, well, all the lighting, the whole aspect, the vibe, like he pretty much created that because he set the aperture and he decided whether he wanted to bounce them lights off of there or just put them straight on me. Like, that you can't say that the video was less than 1% of vibe. You can't say that.
I'm like, if I didn't set it all right, I provided everything for you to just come in and do your
You
thing.
gave
I
him
made it
gear.
so easy
You gave
for
him
to
gear.
sit there and do that.
You gave him gear, but he worked his magic with your gear.
And then, so that's, all right, so then that's the work for hire. All right. I love that. I love that. It's like, hold up. Like, I'm not trying to get royalties, and I'm just saying pay you. Like, you got something.
I know, but it's that extra. It's the extra. It's the little bit of extra.
It's just like, wait. All right. Okay. That was, all right. You did that. That was great.
So you did that.
You did that. That was great. Because you had me right there. It's like, oh shit. I mean, I did provide everything, you know? Like, they just come in and they just, like, press the record button.
Yeah, but he's still like.
But, I mean, you know?
That's a lot.
That's
That's a huge contribution.
Yeah. Because these two over here could still be filming.
If a nigga was here, we still had these angles. We gotta get all the angles out within the first 5 minutes. They be like, yo, this production looks good. And then the rest of the video just be the same.
Bro, you know? Cut. Angle. Bitches die. Man. Oh, man. Nah, that was fun. Yeah, so you need a team. You gotta have a culture to go around your DIY-ness. There's only so much you can do yourself. They don't tell you that.
That's what they don't tell you. You can't press the button and be on the camera at the same time.
I mean, no, there is.
I mean, yeah, there's things. You could buy remotes and shit.
Yeah.
You can definitely do that.
Yeah.
That's the extra moolah.
Yeah, you gotta
that we
pay
was
for
talking
that
about
too,
earlier.
though. Yeah. But if I had a person to do that,
Yeah.
you know, that moolah would go to them.
Exactly.
So, you know.
Yeah, so calling all gaffers and what the fuck else?
I don't need any of that. I just need you to just sit there and just press record.
That's it. Just press the button. You'll set everything up yourself.
Yeah, set everything up myself. Just make sure it's continuous. Oh my goodness, that's funny. But that's real. You know, like because I wouldn't have had anybody like no one's ever going to sit there. I can't say ever, but no one would sit there and say anything like that to me. But they wouldn't know how to say it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's real shit. All right. I'm sorry, I don't have any more beats. I just care about the creative.
Word.
You know, like
word.
I mean, that's what it comes down to. It's just
I care about fairness, man. I want everybody to eat, man.
I mean, but it's so hard to eat when they're giving you just the leftovers, just a little bit of seasoning, without the steak or without the entree right there. It's just like here's some salt.
Okay.
It's a lot you can do with salt.
Okay.
You get creative.
Okay.
Put a lot of sodium in your system.
Okay.
Like.
Well, I think since we came to the conclusion that the guy with the gear, or the guy with the location, or the guy with the platform is the guy who's that's the guy who's the business, right? That's the guy who's the corporation. That's the one with the leverage.
Yeah.
So.
The one who's providing everything for your life to be easier.
Yeah. So like talent
means
versus assets. It does mean nothing.
That's crazy because talent talent isn't everything apparently, not in commerce.
Cause I was talking to a dude who directs videos and he was like talking about how much he's charging people and how he wants to go up higher. I'm like, bro, look at all what you spent your money on. Look at all the tools you're using. Mm-hmm. If you look at those tools as business investments and you look at the job that you do as something that eventually has to pay those tools off, then come on, do some math here. And he's like, oh shit. Like, seriously, he's buying them because he's passionate and he started off as a hobbyist and he started off just loving it, but now he wants it to pay some bills. So, but that's it. You gotta look at it, change your perspective on it, and make it pay the fucking bills.
Yeah.
So yeah, with that said, I completely feel like, all right, you have to absolutely get the value of the tools that you invested in. Mm-hmm. There's certain motherfuckers talentless, but they spend their money on the right shit, and then you be trying to fucking rent it off of them.
Yeah. That's word. Shout out to all the
Talentless niggas with money.
Shout out to all the talentless niggas with money. All the talentless motherfuckers with money. Shout out to all the talented people. Shout out to all the businesses, the business owners.
Shout out to the business owners.
Look, you know, you gotta change up everything real quick. Like, hey!
So yeah, since we talking to you now,
Like,
we talk strategies.
oh man, no, because that actually does. Like, no, that was actually, man, wow, you got me good. You got me good, and that's why it's a pleasure to have you here, man. Like, seriously, because we have these conversations off.
Yeah, all the time.
You know what I'm saying? But then to sit there and like,
Well, I mean, to be fair, you've been telling me about how you feel about this subject for a long time, and I've never opposed you on it at all. So I guess I just had an opportunity to save everything for the day.
that works. I'm like, I'm gonna hire everybody else. Like, everybody else never opposed and said, hey, did you think about? Like, cause I bring this up to everybody. I bring this up to GMs. I talk, like, you know, I talk to everybody.
I mean, are they gonna tell you how? Like, are they gonna sit there and fucking defend the owner, the guy with the $1 million? Are they gonna defend that guy?
Yeah, I would think they would.
Well, I am. 'Cause I want to be that guy. I want to be that guy one day. So obviously, I'm gonna defend him. I need him to still be intact
So they're just
once
like,
I get there.
"Wait, you don't know what you're talking about. So this is how, you know, like, that's mentorship, but that's what's lacking in a lot of places.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's like nobody's like sitting there cultivating, honing the talent. Well, I mean, there's the creatives that's honing their talent, but there's nobody helping them develop on how to grow.
I mean, you know, the places I worked had not workshops, but we had tastings, and we had people come through and just teach us on the rando.
That's developing the creative side or sales
Yeah,
for creatives.
yeah, true shit. True shit.
True shit.
Stuff they should be paying us for. Right?
That's training. Oh man. Yeah, I like you, man. Good, my brother.
I like you too, man. I like you too. What's your shirt say?
At your service.
Word. Yo, I was gonna wear my Campari shirt today, but it was blue, and I wanted to keep the all black on.
Oh man.
Yeah, yo, that's funny. That's funny.
If it worked out,
Nah, who cares? It still worked out.
I would have sat there and said, "Hey, so Campari."
Yeah.
We have this whole thing, right? That was funny because I was actually thinking about that. I was like, yo, it would be funny if these two guys show up with a
I was gonna wear a Master Makers tee.
I was sitting there thinking, like, before I did all this, right? I was sitting there just like, because at first it was just, you know, black, and I'm just like, well, like, what I've learned is that, like, they're not, I'm not supposed to wear a black shirt on a black background.
Yeah, because you're just a floating head.
But, yeah, but black people or POCs, you know, people with melanin in their skins, you always are supposed to have a darker background than you because you pop. Seriously.
Thanks for telling me that.
Yeah, like, yo, see, I know. See, that's why I was hoping you got here early. I was like, oh, we're going to chop it up.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, so, you know, so then when I was digging through everything, I saw the curtains, and I was just like, yo, I got an idea. I was like, so they can walk in with whatever color they want.
I like
and
it.
Then that's why it's like that. You know?
I like it.
That's why I was like that, because I had a black shirt. I came here with a black shirt.
Should I start wearing brighter colors?
I mean, well, now you got to think about what's going to come off of this.
Okay. A little brighter than that.
I'm the only one that's pretty much...
Brighter than that, basically. Yeah, I could do that every day.
No, or you could go darker. You can go any way you want to with that. Yeah. Yeah. I strategically, like, set design, man. People get paid millions of dollars for this. I'm not one of or I wouldn't be sitting here talking about the DIY lifestyle. So this is how DIY just transfers within your life. Like, once you do one thing and you realize it, that it's like, yo, I built something. Then it just transfers over. Right? Yo, I engineered something. I created something. It just starts transferring into your life. Like, every different spoke of it. And it's just, like, beautiful.
I don't know how you cut in this video sequence, but...
I don't know either.
I just want to take the opportunity to mention, like, if y'all don't know what he built, like, what the fuck DIY he's done, other than, just check out the wine shit. They got other videos on that.
There's a whole winery back there.
Yeah, yeah.
Website presence.
Oh, you want to start? Let's rattling off shit.
No, my fault, man. I'm sorry. Like, yo, no, let me tell you, I'm gonna give it up to you straight up. Like,
Yeah.
no, but no, like, cause I kind of like me. I haven't been looking at the camera. Like, I've been looking at you. Like, I knew I was gonna come in here and do that. That's
Yeah, but
why I kinda,
occasionally I like
that.
to address the audience.
I was like, man,
I like to let them know that we see them.
like they gonna be listening.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I don't even know if they're gonna watch the video.
Oh, either way.
Either way, yeah, I know, but no. So I don't know. Like, I think it's all pretty cool. Like, I actually like it, and I don't know. Oh, look at this. Look at this.
What? Yo, fam, do you just use regular recording program for your podcast? There you go. So that's DIY. We got a friend that's trying to take some information that niggas take time to figure out. And
Yeah.
he's trying to get it for
Yeah,
free.
well, once you build it, they will come, and they will have many of questions, so they can try to do it as well. That's inspiration, and that's, I do believe, as a king, that's what it takes in order to be a king, is to be able to inspire others.
I have had so many people emulate my systems that I've put together. People have said, hey, how do you do this? And I say, and then they go and they get the same things that I have and then they do it. Or they say, what do you plan on doing about this? And then I say, and then they go out and they do those things, independent from me. So that's king shit, because you build a castle and then you start noticing that all the builders, they start looking at your brick designs, and then all the houses eventually after a couple years start looking a little bit more like yours. That's king shit.
Yeah.
You said it, man.
You inspired a lot. You know, just like, and that's like, you know where I got that from?
Boom.
I got it from anime. Who said that? Who said that? Alexander the Great. Was that Alexander? That was Alexander the Great. I was like, oh my goodness, you know, on his going out as he was fading out, exiting fade scene. But yeah, I mean, that hit me real hard, and like that in itself inspired me, because it kind of gave me a understanding of not like a president or anything, but like how like greatness, you know, like
Just a man of
kingship
influence.
is supposed to, yeah, like kingship is supposed to go, and how it travels, or your name travels and just sticks for generations. And it's because it's not about you, even though it is, but it's more so about how you inspire generations to come, and that's what kingship is.
Did you intend to be so heady with this whole podcast?
No, you think this is heavy? This is light.
Heady.
Oh, heady.
Yeah.
No. I tell you, like, this is just, I don't know, this is how I talk.
Okay. You got to tell me how you talk and shit.
Like this?
No, I'm saying, do you have to tell me how you talk?
Oh, exactly, yeah, I don't know.
I've heard you talk before.
I'm like, I feel like this is natural.
Yeah.
Definitely at
No,
some
it's
point.
not unnatural.
It became
It's certainly not unnatural.
Yeah, we got into a flow. I definitely do believe that.
No, I was wondering if you wanted to use so many big words and try to delve so deeply into things. I was just wondering.
I mean, I don't know. I don't, like, yo.
Because a lot of people usually
Playing in my head.
A lot of people usually go down a certain list of things, and they'll touch them all, like, only as deep as they want to. But what we seem to have done is we went like we went into one thing and just went like down a fucking rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And then that connected to another couple of things, and then we kind of came out of the rabbit hole, and then we found another thing to go in deep on.
That's our conversation, though.
Yeah, definitely.
Like,
so that's the natural flow of things. I was just wondering if that was how you wanted it to be, or if you had something else kind of like more scripted and.
No, I have no script.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Like, that's why I looked at my phone, just like, let's see. Text messages about what we're talking about. Because, like, yeah. Because I'm sitting here, like, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot, but I do have a lot. I kind of like. I gave you everything. When you say, "Yo, do you have?" Like, no, this is going to be unscripted. This is going to be a topic because I like our conversations are just like that, and it's the same conversations that I try to have across the board with everybody. But I already know like the dynamic that you and I have. Like, you already pushed me to a different perspective. Like you just had me. You had me. You had me. Like because I know we had this conversation so
Yeah.
many times,
Uh-huh.
and you never had that. And I'm like, was that the ace up to sleep? And you got an honest reaction out of me where it was just like a shit. Now you know how I look when I've been stumped. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Like, so that's what it came down to, yo. Like,
Nice. All right. Cool. No, I was just checking to see if like, yeah, if
I
you
can't
wanted to
wait to
be
s-
so.
I can't wait to see my reaction to it. Just like a, I don't know, you know. So I'm gonna learn something about myself throughout this. So this is madly appreciated.
Word.
But yeah. So I guess within all of that,
Gotcha,
yo,
bitch.
we got time.
What time is
We
it?
were talking for a while.
What time is it?
It's 3:11.
Shit, we did talk for a while.
Ooh, like
We went in for at least an hour.
we got over an hour.
Nice.
So I mean, we still have more though. All right. Because what I want to actually sit there and go about, like all this is definitely not in it. Because I want to actually just try to sit there and do a chop thing.
Mhm.
Like I'm pushing myself. This is what DIY looks like. Sitting there just trying to like learn how to like do that,
Mhm.
and it still doesn't fuck up too much. It's like, whoa, you just killed the flow. Oh, I can't wait to talk to you about something. Oh,
Okay.
I just wanted to touch you. Ooh. Did I hit you too hard?
Oh.
Alright, cool.
Oh.
I like it. I like it. But, yeah. I just want to see the flow of everything. Okay. Alright, so I do want to highlight someone. We're there right now, baby.
Okay.
I don't know where we go after this. But
But I know we're here.
we're going to be here and we're going to see where it goes. Alright,
Okay.
so I'm all about giving the flowers, the roses, the booze, the love to people who I do think should get them. And definitely why they're around to be able to hear this. So I do want to highlight someone that's within the industry, within the hospitality industry, as an author, a writer, however you want to identify him. But his name is Dan Dunn. So here's the book. He wrote a book. He wrote a couple books. Like this guy. All right. So this is Living Loaded, the never ever ending chase of a happy hour.
I got his picture on the back.
They got his picture on the back.
Yeah.
All right.
He looked like a boy named Dan Dunn.
You want to look at it? No. All right,
That looks
cool.
like a whiskey on the rocks from the top.
Yeah. So all right. So I was in Portland cocktail conference a few years ago, and someone actually handed me this book because they were just like, you would love this. The way that your personality is, it just kind of reminds me of this individual, this guy that's in this book. So Dan Dunn is from Northeast Philadelphia.
Word.
I thought that blew my mind right there, but I mean it took it even further by
Northeast with an F.
Northeast. We definitely with an F. Once you hear like the stories in here, oh my goodness. All right, so yeah, whew, funny, but yeah. So there we go. I don't even know if you can see that. Hopefully you can. All right, so Living Loaded by Dan Dunn is a really funny read, and it's all around the hospitality industry. But he wrote for Playboy, so he had a column in Playboy where he would write about it was a lifestyle column, I guess you would call it, and it always connected booze with the lifestyle of whatever the topic is or whatever. So it's a lot
Boozing.
of boozing. So so it's a lot of entertaining stories and it's a lot of drunken nights and it's porn stars. It's a whole bunch. It's just an easy, fun read and he actually just got nominated for an award. That's probably not going to happen now because of the whole pandemic, but he got nominated for his new podcast that he has, where he interviews people, and it's pretty entertaining. And I don't know the name of it. I wish I was better at it, but I can look it up right now because why not? Since I'm already highlighting. But I just thought it was funny. So someone from Las Vegas, Danu. I don't know how you say your last name. Sorry.
Try it out.
Cavini.
Okay.
You know, I always
That
mess
helps.
it
No,
up.
but that
I
helps
always
for
mess
if
it
people
up.
look it up or if they.
But
That way they
yeah.
know exactly which Daniel you're talking about,
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
definitely under the Bartenders Guild, Las Vegas. Yeah, so that was so he handed me this book and it just changed everything for me. And it was somebody that I can identify with in the culture of the hospitality industry because it's like, oh snap, you're funny, you're turning all this into not so pretentious, like on that whole time when everybody was like trying too hard. It was just really cool. And then he wrote another book after that called American Wino, which is another funny read, and it so happened to be just soon as I just start getting into wine. So I'm looking to him to sit there and help me understand the basics about wine. So I'm reading the book, and boy, I didn't learn much about wine at all, but it was funny. It was funny. It was a good read, so I kind of recommend you actually see what he has going on. So the podcast is he's the host of What We're Drinking podcast, and that has been nominated for a Spirited Award. So I just want to give him his flowers. Shouts out to you. That was amazing. You're fun. He's actually an all around good guy. You should hang out with him sometime. If you get to hang out with him,
Prepare to be loaded.
yes.
Because he's loaded. That's how he lives.
Living loaded on the edge. But that's all I got, man. This was fun. I had a good time. Hopefully you keep on listening. Check us out. I'm Bryant.
I'm Theo.
And that's 86 podcast. Hopefully you had a good time once again. Match your service.
Yo, tell him what we was drinking today.
Nah.
No?
No, we're just drinking red wine.
All right. Bye.
This could be you. Oh, man. That's funny.
This could be you.
Oh, yeah, so merch.
Mm-hmm.
Look. Merch.
Okay. I'm right here with you. I gotta cop these sneaks. I'm right here.
You're already in a merch bag.